The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. Of course, you guys know by now I'm Ed, and we got Miss Carol with us this morning. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then my brother Pedro.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone.
So anyway, there's no interest groups tonight. This happens to be that third. Is it the third? No, this is second Monday. The way this month is falling is just throwing me off. So, but anyway, yeah, no, this is second Monday, so nothing going on this Monday. But I always tell everybody just think about it as an opportunity. If there's an interest group out there that you would like to start, I mean, here's a time slot. You can get in on Monday. Again, each and every one of these interest groups, I mean, some of them were started just because they're basic stuff, like the JAWS and stuff like that. But again, a lot of the other ones, like, the crafting, somebody's into crafting. Oh, let's start a crafting group. Cool. They got a crafting group. Whatever the case may be, a lot of people like to play RS games. Boom, we got an RS games group. Whatever, the movie night, that's pretty popular. We do that every Friday, so, but again, it all came from somebody saying, you know what, I have an interest in this, or I have an interest in that, and I'm not going to sit there and try to figure out what's going to be popular and what ain't. All I say is, you know what, you're interested in it. Chances are there's other people interested in it. Let's give it a shot and see how it work out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, if you feel that you'd like to start a particular interest group, info@blindunited.org, and we can get that set up and see how it works out. You know what I'm saying? You might be one of the more popular groups we have. So who knows? Never know unless you try, right? So anyway, how was everybody's weekend? Carol, you had a good weekend?
I actually did. I mean, I had two engagements that I was planning on going to, but a couple of friends called me and I kind of decided to hang out with them and take care of a few things while I was out in their vehicles as well. So I missed out on a couple of the groups that were scheduled, but I know they'll come back around. So I'll just have to attend them next time. But I did. I had a pretty good weekend. Yes. What about you
Okay.
all?
I mean, I just laid next to the house, and I generally do. I try to relax maybe on Saturday, catch up on my sleep and rest. And then Sunday is, for me, it's all about getting ready for the week in front of me, So I spent a lot of the time yesterday getting ready for this week coming, But anyway, but other than that, I mean, it was cool. I'm just chilling. Maybe next week might have a little bit more involved, being that my birthday is next week. So I don't know. I might start partying Friday and not stop partying until Monday night sometime. I don't know.
Hey.
Uh, but anyway, how was your weekend, Pedro?
My weekend was long. It was good. I hanged out with Monica, myself, and Monica. On Sunday, her and I went to Poder Sin Ver, Power Without Sight. They had a Easter egg hunting event for blind individuals. we still had to wear a blindfold still because of, some people are high partial, some people are low partial, but it's something unique because they have these beeping eggs that they hide around, and it, blind individuals are able to participate and egg hunt. And I got some of those videos on my Unseen Adventures, or if you guys follow me on Facebook, I get those shorts. But man, they had more than I think 60, 70 eggs beeping all in the same time.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it could get a little overwhelming trying to look for these eggs because there's so many beepings. But seeing that happen and seeing people participate, even that children can participate in all that and enjoy a Thanksgiving a Thanksgiving, oh my God, a Easter egg hunt, and able to, to hunt for those eggs and get their candy like a normal kid would, That's pretty much good to see, I seen it in the Braille Institute. Yesterday event was more tailored to like blind individuals, but over age, It was a great time. They had great food. They had burritos. They had conchas and coffee. It was like cinnamon coffee. It was pretty good. It was, you know, the weather was okay, you know, but overall it was a great day. It was a great day and a great event by them. And shout out to them, polarizing.
All right. Well, always good to, again, point out whenever, we out there and we just living our best life doing things, that everybody else does. We might have to do it in a slightly different way, but, through persistence becomes, reality where, okay, look, we want an Easter egg hunt too. How can we do it? Oh, how about we put this little beeper in the egg? Oh, okay, cool. We can work that out, so it all works out, Of course, you ain't gonna get a hard boiled egg unless it's inside one of them plastic eggs with a beeper. But again, who really wants to, hunt for hard boiled eggs? I'd rather hunt for candy and prizes and stuff like that. You can just set them hard boiled eggs on the table and I just grab one when I walk by or something like that. But anyway,
If you can afford them, they're so expensive nowadays.
well, that I didn't even consider that part right now. There ain't gonna be a whole lot of Easter egg hunting this year.
No,
You know, man, they used to put eggs on sale for $1 a dozen during Easter. You know what I'm saying? If I can go back, I remember when they were 50 cents a dozen. But now, I mean, I don't know what. Maybe on sale is $10 a dozen. I don't know.
better buy chicken.
Less than dollar an egg. I guess that's a bargain, right? So, but anyway, but no, it's always great to go out and highlight what the ingenuity, just the thought and allowing people to again live their best life, and be able to do some of the things that especially for the kids, man, being able to you know when they go back to school today, man, and they oh yeah, we went on this really bomb Easter egg hunt. You know what I'm saying? Well, how you gonna find eggs? You can't see. The other kids, right?
Hmm.
Well, our eggs have sound. They make sound, so we can find our eggs. So I mean, but that's really cool to do. So, well, anyway, moving forward, I don't know if anybody's paying a whole lot of attention. Again, I don't know how you can not, but this past week they passed a bill that's actually in Congress. It's got to get through Senate yet, but bottom line, they could uh, uh, put more barriers in front of people when it comes to being able to register to vote. So anyway, we'll talk about it on the inside. Check this out.
Today on Coffee Time, the SAVE Act, securing elections or suppressing votes. In a move that has sparked intense national debate, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility. SAVE, Act on April 10th, 2025, by a narrow 220 to 208 vote. The legislation requires documentary proof of U.S. citizenship, such as a passport, birth certificate, or certain Real ID-compliant documents, for anyone registering to vote or updating their registration in federal elections. While supporters frame it as a way to ensure election integrity, critics warn it could disenfranchise millions of eligible voters. Let's break it down. What's in the SAVE Act? The bill introduces several new requirements and procedures for voter registration. Documentary proof requirement. Registrants must show official proof of citizenship, eliminating the ability to self-certify on registration forms. And online and mail-in registration. Since documents must be presented in person, registering online or by mail would no longer be viable. Voter roll maintenance. States would be required to purge voter rolls of individuals who cannot provide this documentation. Penalties for noncompliance. Election officials who register voters without this documentation could face legal consequences, even if the voter is later confirmed to be a citizen. Why supporters say it's needed. Backers of the SAVE Act argue that it's a necessary safeguard against voter fraud. They claim that requiring physical documentation will prevent non-citizens from voting and boost public confidence in election outcomes. Even though federal law already prohibits non-citizens from voting, and studies show such occurrences are exceedingly rare, supporters see this bill as an added layer of protection. Who could be affected? Opponents of the bill say it could create serious obstacles for eligible U.S. citizens, especially those in historically marginalized groups. Some of the most at risk include low-income citizens, with passports costing around $165. The documentation requirement could amount to a modern-day poll tax. Elderly and rural residents. These individuals may struggle with the logistics or technology required to obtain documents. Married individuals. Around 73 million Americans have changed their names due to marriage, which may not match their birth certificates. Transgender individuals. Those whose gender identity is not accurately reflected in their legal documents may face verification challenges. Critics also point to similar laws in states like Kansas, which were struck down as unconstitutional after blocking tens of thousands of eligible voters from registering. What happens next? Although the SAVE Act passed the House, its future is uncertain in the Senate. While Republicans hold a narrow majority, they do not have the 60 votes needed to bypass a filibuster. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has already declared the bill dead on arrival, indicating that it is unlikely to advance any further under current conditions. The bigger picture, access versus integrity. At its core, the SAVE Act reflects a deep divide in the U.S. over how to balance election security with voter accessibility. Supporters see the bill as a proactive step to prevent fraud and strengthen public trust. Critics argue it creates new barriers that disproportionately affect the very citizens the system is meant to protect. As the 2026 midterms approach, the ongoing battle over voter access and election laws is sure to remain front and center. What do you think about the SAVE Act? Is it a common-sense safeguard or a step toward voter suppression? Let us know in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, again, my opinion, it's a step towards suppression. I mean, they just want to throw more obstacles in the way. They're creating laws that there's already laws on the book for. I mean, if you just, stick with the laws that are on the books, then we're good, but now you want to throw all this extra stuff in there. I mean, most people in America now have some form of what we want to call it real ID, right? I mean, I know most people have done it. Why? Because you can't hardly travel anymore without a real ID, And what is a real ID? A real ID has been an ID that's backed up with a birth certificate, right? that kind of thing. So it verifies who you are, what your citizenship is, and all of that. So now, again, we already have that. So now you make it a requirement. Okay, so now how you going to do this? I mean, I know here in California, if once you register to vote, you're pretty much registered unless you fail to vote in a specific number of elections. Now, once you quit voting, they don't see your name come through after two, three elections, then they purge you from the list. But here, these folks are trying to purge people from the list just for stupid reasons, right? I mean, they could have already been voting for the last, 20, 30 years. And now all of a sudden you want to, oh, well, because you don't have your birth certificate. Well, I was born, again, females getting married, whatever. When I was born, my name was Jones. Now my last name is Davis, right? So again, it doesn't match. So you're going to purge me from the voter rolls simply because I got married? That sounds like more punishment than anything else, right? And if you want to worry about show you what voter suppression is, I mean, I don't know if anybody's paying any attention, but there was a woman that was elected to the Supreme Court of, I believe it was North Carolina. But bottom line, they haven't confirmed her election yet. They're actually getting ready to disenfranchise over 60,000 voters from that state, trying to say that those, you know, they're not sure where they came from. Well, most of them came from people that are government contractors that are either in the military or they're working overseas somewhere and they use that portal to vote. And now they want to hold those votes back. It's not about holding those people's votes back. It's about making sure that this Democratic judge doesn't get appointed to, or elected, I should say, to that state Supreme Court. I mean, it's just crazy. So, anyway, again, any type of voter suppression, in my opinion, is wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't verify who people are and their citizenship or whatever their eligibility to vote, but at the same time, you shouldn't make it harder. You know what I'm saying? You should be trying to make it as easy as possible for people to vote. The easier it is for people to vote, the more people are going to vote. And that's exactly what they don't want. They want the fewer people to vote. That way they figure they can, I mean, they're cracking, most of their suppression is pointed at, folks that would normally be registered as Democrats. So that's where their goals are. So, but anyway, what you think about all this, Carol?
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with you. And it's my opinion, too, that it's just another step backwards. A lot of people that this does apply to are generally Democrats, low income or individuals that are elderly, have a hard time getting to the polls, and to take away the freedom of being able to vote. Um, I don't get it. Why do you have to make this so difficult when it shouldn't be difficult? Um, Again, it's just another step backwards, and um, I just really hate that it's turning to this. I really, really do.
Well, and again, the sad part is, 70 million. I mean, you heard it in the article, 70 million. They didn't say it this way. I'm going to say it this way. 70 million women are getting ready to be disenfranchised simply because they got married and their name now does not match their birth certificate.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, how do we fix that? I mean, they got to show up with their birth certificate and their marriage license? I mean, I don't know. They didn't offer that solution, So,
right.
I mean, it's really, really sad. So, anyway, what you think about all this, Pedro?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, and it's not about making it harder. That's not even their thing, or making it safer, or making it making people feel more confident in the system. There's been years of jewelry mandarin and stuff, like with the zoning in different states and stuff like that. We know Republicans like to use these tactics to get their side to win. I hate to use their side, because it's not about sides, it's about bettering our society and bettering the life of our citizens in our country, no matter if you're left or right. That's the whole object of this. But they use these tactics to get their judges in. They use these tactics to get their politicians in, and we've seen that in effect and on stage and on social media by like Elon Musk, for example. But it's been happening even before Elon Musk. The Republican leadership. That's because that's who's doing this, known for these tactics, known for purging the voting rolls. In these last election, they purged up to 3.5 million votes, Democratic votes, because they use tactics like this. Oh, he signed his signature, but he left his middle name out, so out. And I don't think that's fair.
Or they
Or
forgot to date it or
Or they
whatever.
forget. Yeah, exactly. They forgot the date, or they forgot to put their initials in a box, and they purge, and they use these tactics for that. And now trying to get the mail-in votes and take that off, and it's gonna affect our service members. They always talk about, we're for the veterans, we're for the law, we're for the this and that, but you don't want them to have a voice in our elections.
The
You
main
know,
people that's up there putting their life on the line to fight for our freedoms, you're going to deny them the ability to vote.
exactly. And
Crazy.
they should be prioritized.
Well, they actually are. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a program out there that's called Democracy Live. It's a platform that is used for the military, and it's one of the only digital forms of voting that you can do, you know. But then there's other states that, I mean, up in Washington, not D.C., but Seattle, Washington, northern up West Coast, Washington.
Washington State.
Yeah, Washington State. Bottom line, you can vote from your cell phone. Okay, I mean, there's
Oh, that's the dream, bro. Damn, let's do that nationwide. Let's vote through our
Right?
cell phones.
right. So again, understanding that voter rules and so on and so forth are actually supposed to be dictated by the state, even within the federal elections. Washington has adopted this digital voting format. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple other states, but Washington is the one I know. But anyway, like what Washington is doing, bottom line, they're just trying to make sure that it's, again, easier to vote. They're not, again, all the same requirements are there. You had to register, you had to have the proper documentation to register, but they're just making it easier for you to vote. Now you don't have to wait on your mail in ballot. You can just open up your phone and log into the app, and boom, it's done.
Wow.
Whatever the case may be. But these other folks, they don't like that. It just makes it too easy. It just makes it, but anyway, we can sit here and talk about this all the time, but we're beyond our time for this article. So anyway, let's keep an eye on this. We hopefully it won't make it through the Senate, and we won't have to worry about it. But just know it's on the horizon. So, excuse me. Anyway, let's jump into these promos, and we'll get to our next article.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United. Did you know that people in third world countries do not have access to canes? The You Can Give initiative gives canes to people all over the world who cannot get canes. The You Can Give initiative not only goes to these countries and gives people canes, but they give people canes and a digital recorder that is solar powered that has instructions on how to use the cane and instructions on how to repair the cane. The You Can Give initiative is a very worthy cause, giving canes to blind people all over the world. If you have a cane that you're no longer using, or a cane that's broken or bent, you can go to youcangive.org and get a shipping label, and you can ship your cane to Jimmy in Tennessee, and he will refurbish it and give your cane to a blind person in a third world country. That website again is youcangive.org.
All right. Well, we've kind of made it our mission here at Blind United to help Jimmy as much as we can. So if you just happen to be coming to one of our events, you're more than welcome to bring your cane with you. Every event we do with Blind United, we're going to have some sort of a drawing set up for people that bring canes, so they have an opportunity to win something for bringing canes. The more canes you bring, the more opportunities you have to win. So, again, if you can't go online or don't want to go online and send it to Jimmy directly, you can definitely bring it to us in one of our events, and we'll make sure that Jimmy gets those canes. So, again, I don't know what I would do without my cane. I'd be lost. I can't even imagine that. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, we want to do what we can to help with the You Can Give initiative. So, this next one, this is funny to me because it's funny, but when you think of the mentality and the symbolism behind it, this is some crazy stuff. So, anyway, we'll play it and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, Trump's birthday bash or budget blunder. The debate over a $92 million military parade. Former President Donald Trump is making headlines once again, this time with plans for a massive military parade in Washington, D.C. scheduled for June 14th, 2025. The date isn't just any day. It marks both Trump's 79th birthday and the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, a pairing that supporters say is cause for national celebration. But with an estimated price tag of up to $92 million, critics are raising serious questions about the timing, the symbolism, and the financial wisdom of such a grand spectacle. Let's break down what's proposed and why it's stirring up so much debate. What's in the works? The proposed event would be one of the largest military displays in modern American history, complete with tanks rolling through D.C. streets, military aircraft flying overhead, thousands of service members participating in ceremonial formations, possible live-stream coverage and televised highlights. If it happens, this would be Trump's second attempt to organize a military parade. His first, back in 2018, was ultimately canceled due to soaring projected costs and logistical challenges. Celebration or spectacle? Supporters argue that the parade would honor America's military and provide a patriotic morale boost, especially in a year marking the Army's 250th birthday. They see it as an opportunity to showcase national pride and demonstrate military strength to both the American public and the world. But critics are not impressed. Here's what's causing concern. The price tag, at up to $92 million, the parade would come at a time when the federal government is making budget cuts across multiple departments, including public health, education, and weather forecasting services like NOAA. Economic uncertainty. With growing fears of a potential recession, many Americans are questioning whether this is the best use of taxpayer money. Authoritarian comparisons. Detractors say the imagery of tanks rolling down the streets of D.C. echoes parades in countries like Russia, China, and North Korea, where leaders use such displays to assert power and dominance. Local impact. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and other city officials have expressed concerns about damage to infrastructure, disruptions to daily life, and the lack of local consultation. The White House response. So far, the Biden White House has not confirmed the parade. Officials have stated that no final decisions have been made, and it remains unclear whether the proposal will move forward. Meanwhile, public opinion remains deeply divided. Some Americans see the parade as a festive and fitting tribute to the military. Others view it as political theater at a time when more pressing national needs are being underfunded. What it means going forward. Whether the parade happens or not, the controversy has already ignited a larger conversation about how we choose to honor our military, the role of government spending during economic instability, the symbolism we associate with political leadership and public displays of power. What do you think? Should the U.S. spend millions on a military parade, or are there more important priorities for our country right now? Let us know in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, first, let me apologize for the typo because this is definitely not Biden's White House. This is certainly Trump's White House. But, I mean, again, who does this? As the article stated, people like Putin, Kim Jong-un in North Korea, China, President Yi, whatever. These dictators, I don't know, it's like they get off on, showing their strength by having the military roll through and, putting it all on display. Yeah, if you act up, we got this we're going to hit you with. I mean, I've seen these, from these dictators where they literally have missiles and rockets and stuff on trailers in these parades, Man, it don't make sense. Now, and then let's go here. You want to take away my ability to have help feeding my family, but you want to spend $94 million on a parade. You want to take away my ability to get the medications that I need, through my health care, but yet you want to spend $94 million on a parade. All of these services and stuff that you're cutting, through your Department of Government Efficiency, right? But yet, how is this efficient spending $94 million? Now, that $94 million is just to get the military there, as well as, they're in the military. So bottom line, they get paid for being there, so now you got to logistically get them there and all of these tanks and all this other equipment, whatever it is you're trying to show off, right? But now you got to pay for the people that's going to be there. And then when it's all said and done, you heard them talking about the mayor of D.C. is talking about, what the damage it'll do to the infrastructure. Do you realize these tanks rolling down Pennsylvania Avenue are going to tear up Pennsylvania Avenue? They're going to have to come through and repave Pennsylvania Avenue or whatever street they happen to travel on. They're going to have to repave all of that. So now we're talking about even more money that's getting to me, it's one great big expense. It's not worth it. And all it's doing is going to feed into this man's ego. It's going to put him, now he can play his videos right along with Putin and who everybody else that's showing these big military parades. It doesn't make sense. in the streets we say if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And this is definitely not making no dollars. It's nothing but spending money, money that could be spent to feed the homeless, money that could be spent on finding a cure for childhood cancer, money could be spent, for millions of other things other than flexing for the rest of the world. So anyway, that's my take on it. What you got, Carol?
I mean, I agree with you. This is just stupid. It's a waste of money, a waste of time. And he is trying to show his power. But for what? I mean, it makes no sense. You're right. We have all of these organizations that they're shutting down, education and healthcare and these low income programs that are definitely needed, mental health places that, are definitely needed. And here it is, you want to just show off and say, ooh, look what we got. Oh, it's my birthday, by the way. And, we're celebrating the military with all of this great stuff that we have to show. It makes absolutely no sense. That's a lot of
Hmm.
money to be playing around with, really is. And it's
Yeah,
a slap in our face as Americans. The things that you would be willing to do and cut and then show us you still can spend money that we really aren't supposed to have, right?
exactly. And then just a little side note, and just in case anybody's counting, I know I am. We're just a little over 3 months into this administration, and we've already spent over $30 million for Trump to fly home every weekend and go golfing.
Mm,
Okay, $30 million, $30 million for this man
wow.
to have it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It just doesn't make any sense. So, but anyway, what you got, Pedro?
Well, look, um, we don't need to show off what we have. The best strategy is not showing off what you got. You know, The Art of War. If you ever read the book, you don't show what you have and your capabilities to your enemies or to anyone for that matter for strategy purposes and even offensive purposes if it ever comes to fruition that we need to do an offensive war that is a massive war. Number two is he's spending millions and millions of dollars to show off his egotistic ways. This is ways of his ego just to prop himself up and feel good about himself and say, "Oh, I'm showing off and showing them other countries how powerful we are." But what aren't we been doing that with the different other conflicts we've been having across the world? Also number three is he's spending so much money in these golf vacations that he keeps on going on and going on that in the end of his term, I feel this is going to be the most expensive administration ever in office. I think it could even reach up to the billions the way
It
he's going.
could. It definitely could. It definitely
Also,
could.
Ed, I have to step away. I'm sorry, I have to step away right fast. Somebody showed up with an appointment that I have to do.
Okay.
But in my opinion, I feel like instead of cutting waste, fraud, right? They're making waste and causing fraud by getting away with the taking away these departments, wasting all this money on his lavishes vacation. What happened to I'm not gonna take away from the government. Whatever I get paid, I'm gonna donate my salary. I'm gonna not go golfing. I'm gonna not, you know what I'm saying? To save money. But what is he doing this time around?
Right. I hear you. I hear you. Well, I mean, again, and again, parading around our arsenal and whatever. That's not a good thing. Like you said, keep it quiet. You know what I'm saying? Keep it on the down low. You want to find out what kind of stuff we got? Mess with us.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I hate to go here, but ask Russia what we got going on. Okay, because what we've given Ukraine is stopped Russia in their tracks, right? When we went to Desert Storm, right? we had stuff that they didn't even realize we had. I mean, bombs, there were missiles that were knocking bombs out of the air, right? We
Right.
had what they call them bunker busters. These were bombs that they would drop, over the top of a bunker, and they would explode when they hit the ground, and then it would go down so many feet, and then it would explode again just to get inside of these bunkers that the Iraqis had buried underground, right? Had them people coming up out of there like roaches, you know what I'm saying? But again, so it is what it is. It's not even necessary if you ask me, but and then again, he wants to slide it in on the anniversary, the 250th anniversary of our army, right?
Right.
Come on, man. It's your birthday, fool. You want to stand up there with your little Napoleon suit on and act like you really doing something, partner. You ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let me get up here since Pedro's out, and I'm navigating up there. I'm sorry.
No, you taking care of what you have to.
All right. Well, I'm gonna play these promos, and then I'll get into the last article.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shots. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. June 21st, got a vibe so right. Come through the service and a day tonight. It's Blind United, yeah, we're bringing the flair. Crafts and colors floating in the air. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. Jewel that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. You want a table, just $25. Bring your vision, your craft, your luck. Vendors welcome, come show your pride. Let your work shine, let your soul ride. It's more than a fair, it's a moment to share with a community that truly cares. So email us now, don't miss your spot. Info at blindunited.org, we got a lot. Jewels that shine, lotion so smooth. Mosaics, baked goods, handmade grooves. You don't wanna miss this artful affair. Blind made magic, love everywhere. So come vibe with the crew, enjoy the day. Blind United has got it set our way. June 21st, bring your smile and light. Art and love, yeah, we'll shine so bright. So come vibe with the crew, enjoy the day. Blind United has got it set our way. June June 21st, bring your smile and light. Art and love, yeah, we'll shine so bright.
All right. Well, that was a new one that you guys are debuting here today, premiering, whatever you want to call it. But it's about an event we got coming up in June. It's a crafting event that's designed to highlight folks in the community that do crafting. Well, I mean, we got people that make mosaic jewelry boxes and, all kind of stuff like that. We got folks that are making moccasins and I mean hand sanitizers. What's the other one? We got a lady that does a lot of shea butter products. We got folks that make their own brittle and stuff like that. Peanut brittle and stuff like that. So again, there's going to be a lot of exciting crafting stuff going on, and it's basically all folks from the community that's doing these things. We just want to highlight that again. Just because we're blind, that don't stop nothing. I mean, we can still do what we want to do, and this is another way for us to showcase, that people are living their best life. They enjoying their life. We got hobbies and stuff just like everybody else. So again, that's June 21st. If you're in the area or planning on being in the area, again, $25 get you a table. Hopefully you can sell $1 million worth of products. Well, at least hopefully you can sell all the products you bring with you at least, right? So anyway, come on out and check us out on June 21st. And man, look forward to having everybody and celebrating the day of, everybody expressing, what they do. So, all right. Man, I got a crazy one. So if you were a criminal and you had been convicted, to the point, convicted with the death penalty or whatever, right? Would you really want the choice to choose how you die? I know it sounds crazy as hell, right? But check this out.
On Coffee Time, Firing Squad and the Future of Justice, a look at South Carolina's controversial execution. On April 11th, 2025, Mikaldeen Mahdi, a 42-year-old man from Virginia, was executed by firing squad in South Carolina. The event marked the second use of this method in the state within recent weeks and reignited national debate over the use of capital punishment in the United States, especially methods considered by many to be outdated or inhumane. Mahdi had been on death row for his role in a 2004 multi-state crime spree, which included the murder of a convenience store clerk in North Carolina and the brutal killing of Captain James Myers, an off-duty police officer in South Carolina. According to court records, Mahdi shot Myers multiple times and set his body on fire, a crime that shocked the local community and led to a swift conviction. A chosen method of execution. Prior to his death, Mahdi was given the choice between lethal injection, the electric chair, or the firing squad, options available under South Carolina law following the state's reinstatement of multiple execution methods. Mahdi selected the firing squad, which his attorney described as the lesser of three evils. The execution took place at Broad River Correctional Institution, where 9 witnesses, including a family member of the victim, legal representatives, and members of the press, observed the event. The case against execution. While the state framed the execution as justice served, Mahdi's legal team and death penalty opponents raised serious concerns. Key issues cited include a traumatic childhood. Advocates pointed to Mahdi's history of trauma and abuse, beginning in early childhood. Solitary confinement. Mahdi had been subjected to prolonged solitary confinement starting in his adolescence, a practice widely criticized for its psychological effects. Inadequate legal defense. His representation during the original trial was described as insufficient, with some arguing that better defense could have altered the outcome. Efforts to halt the execution through a final appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court and a clemency petition to Governor Henry McMaster were denied. Capital punishment resumes in South Carolina. This execution is part of South Carolina's recent return to capital punishment after a 13-year hiatus. In response to a shortage of lethal injection drugs and legal challenges to the electric chair, the state has adopted a menu of execution methods, including the firing squad, which had not been used in the United States since 2010 until recently. South Carolina's policy has drawn both praise and condemnation. Supporters argue that it provides closure for victims' families and enforces the ultimate accountability for heinous crimes. Opponents see it as a grim regression to outdated and barbaric forms of punishment, especially amid broader national and global movements toward abolishing the death penalty. A nation still divided. The case of Dean Motti adds to the ongoing conversation about justice, accountability, and the ethics of state-sanctioned death. Does the method of execution matter in a society claiming to uphold human rights? Can capital punishment ever be carried out in a truly fair and just system? And should past trauma or inadequate defense be considered when a life hangs in the balance? As states like South Carolina expand the tools of capital punishment, these questions are becoming more urgent and more personal. What do you think about the return of firing squads and South Carolina's approach to the death penalty? Let us know in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, this one is it's a little hard because I mean, again, whether you believe in capital punishment or not, I'm gonna be honest. I believe in it for in certain situations. I mean, what I say is, a viable punishment for this person. What I'm hearing is, number one, he was troubled even as a youth. Spend most of his time locked up, spend most of his time in solitary confinement, where that's cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, sitting in a cell alone by yourself for days after day after day after day, it'll cause mental illness. I mean, it causes you to go have these different situations. Uh, as far as inadequate defense, I mean, that's always been a big problem here in America. I mean, I mean, if anybody's been gone to, court and sit through, public defenders, I mean, bottom line, public defenders don't really put in a lot of work. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them will, especially if they find a case that they truly believe in their client, they may step up, but for the most part, they just there collecting a paycheck. They go sit down and they have lunch with the DA, and they sit there, or have coffee in the morning with the DA, and then they work out their whole caseload for the day. Oh, okay, well, we're going to plead this on this one. Okay, well, we're going to give you a deal on that one, and so on and so forth. By the time they step in the courtroom, they've already got your fate figured out. So I mean, no, that's not cool. But, again, that's the justice system we're living with right now until we change it. Uh, I mean, I don't know. Would I rather die lethal injection, or I definitely wouldn't want the electric chair? And then I don't know. I'm caught up in the middle of this one, by being shot. I mean, I don't know. I've heard some people say that, lethal injection, you still, feel the pain of dying or whatever. It's just you're sedated, so you can't act out on it, right? You can't show that the discomfort that your body is going through, but I don't know. So, lesser of three evils, I don't know if that is or not, but I don't know. We just got a whole lot that we need to work on, especially within our justice system. There's a whole lot of inequality going on. I mean, if this man or this man's family or whatever had some money, chances are it wouldn't have turned out this way either. And if it were in another state other than South Carolina, would it still turn out the same way? I don't know. It's very possible that it would, you know, but we got to work that part out as well. I mean, it's just more work that we need to do to improve, life here in America. But, we got a group of folks right at this particular point. All they're trying to do is make things harder and make things worse. So I doubt if we're going to get to anything better anytime soon. So, but yeah, no, that's crazy. This man was able to choose that. I mean, he knew he was facing the death penalty. He says, okay, well, if convicted, how do you want to die? And he chose a firing squad. I don't know. Is that something you think you would choose, Carol, if you were faced with that decision?
Uh, absolutely not. I mean, I, this is my opinion only. I do believe in capital punishment. I believe that there are just some people that are just pure evil, and no matter how much they're pure evil, but the system has so many incarcerated individuals, some innocent, some guilty. But if I had a choice to choose, whether it be the electric chair or lethal injection or the firing squad wouldn't be it for me. I mean, I kind of would be faced with that walking the streets here, and someone, if I got my headset on, they're like, "Hey, stop!" and I don't hear them. I'm faced with the firing squad then, but I don't know what would be an easy way to go. But either way, you have to go. And um, if they give an individual a choice and that's what they choose, then that's their right to do that. But me personally, if I was in the system, I don't know, probably lethal injection would be my choice because I don't think I would want to burn in an electric chair and definitely not want to be shot. So I just find it very interesting that they're at least giving individuals the option to choose. I mean, what's next? I don't know. Is there any other way? I don't know. At least it's not back in the day when they would just chop your head off. So mm, it's it's different.
Well, something that rarely ever gets talked about in these capital punishment situations. Uh,
What's that?
let's go here. What about the people that's performing the execution?
True. You're right.
Okay, like these folks in firing squads, right? My understanding is, there's three people on this particular firing squad that's going to shoot this man, right?
Right.
Well, they don't load their own weapons for this. They're done secretly, and only one of those guns has an actual bullet.
Ah, gotcha.
That way, the person pulling the trigger doesn't know if they're the one that's actually killing or not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think about the man in the electric chair. The man that has to pull that switch. You know what I'm saying? You think about the man in the electric. I mean, I'm sorry. The where they shoot the drugs in you, right? I
Right.
mean, all of that stuff is all automated now, but somebody's got to push that button to start that process. What are those people dealing with? Knowing
True.
that they flipped the switch on somebody and killed them that day, or you know what I'm saying? They pushed a button and killed somebody that day. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, those are some things that you got to take into consideration when you're talking about doing this capital punishment stuff. I mean, again, I'm not totally against it. I do believe, as you say, I mean, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I mean, this guy was straight up evil. He's eating
Yes.
people.
Yes.
He's got issues. I mean, what we're
Yes.
gonna do? Lock him up in a institution for the criminally insane for the rest of his life? Stuff like that. I mean, what was his name? I forget out here, but we call him the hillside strangler, the night stalker. You
Mm,
know, they just serial killers. Like you
right,
say, they got something going on. I mean, this gentleman here, only because I got the backstory of him, having issues as a youth and then, going through the system and knowing what the system could do to you. How do we know what kind of mental status he was in, you know, when all this other stuff took place that led to him being standing in front of that firing squad, you know?
right.
But again, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's crazy when you have options to choose, but you're right. We never really think about the individuals that have to press that button to insert the drug or push the button for the electric chair or be the actual shooter at the firing squad and what they have to deal with, you know.
Right, right.
So
I mean, it's a sad situation, but that's the country we live in. I mean, it might, I mean, it's better than some other ones. I mean, like you say, some of these, especially in some of your Arabic countries, as they say, eye for an eye. If you steal, they're gonna cut your hand off. You can't steal nothing with that hand no more.
right,
Just different little stuff like that. So, however you want to look at it, that's the way we do it over here. And whether we believe it's right or not, again, it's a sad situation any day that somebody's life has to be taken. So
that's true.
anyway, we are at the end of another day. So I appreciate everybody for coming out and hanging in with us this Monday. Again, please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Whatever platform you're on, it really helps out, and we really would appreciate it. So we appreciate everybody and appreciate everybody. And we look forward to hanging with you again tomorrow. So until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday. Make it magical whenever you can. And we'll deal with you on Tuesday. We'll see you then.